All right, Bethy, this one was at your request.
Yay.
So do you want to tell us real quick why you want to talk about at Dana Brahms?
Dan Abrams? Well, he went to Columbia Law School. So during all these protests that have been going on, and if you don't know about the protests that are going on in colleges, do a quick Google search. But because he graduated from Columbia Law, he's been a little outspoken on his X account or his Twix or whatever you want to call it.
Twix.
About this, and he's not shy about the fact that he's liberal in his viewpoint, although probably what you'd consider classically liberal. But he's not very happy with everything that's going on in Columbia right now. So I just found the dichotomy there I found interesting.
Okay. So let's get into what he said. And then I've got another article on Columbia as well.
Okay.
So we can update that and we can have more people yell at us when I clip this segment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people yelled at us about our last Columbia segment.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's engagement.
Yeah.
We like engagement. All right. So Dana Brahms said, "This
Dan
is
Abrams.
Dana Brahms. Read it.
I know,
Danabrams. It's Dana Brahms.
Silly.
Dana Brahms.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, this is so ridiculous and embarrassing, in particular for those of us who are graduates of Columbia Law. And what he is retweeting here is, or re-Xing or retwixing or whatever you call it now, is this statement by Aaron Sabarium. New student editors at the Columbia Law Review have issued a statement urging the school to cancel exams in the wake of the police operation that cleared the university's encampment, saying the violence has left them irrevocably shaken and unable to focus. So to read the statement in full, dear CLS community, as the administrative board of student editors of the Columbia Law Review, we urge the law school to cancel exams and give all students passing grades for their work throughout the semester. And the alternative is, in our view, that the law school at the very least observes the community's overwhelming call for mandatory pass-fail during this horrific time for our campus. The violence we witnessed last night has irrevocably shaken many of us on the review. We know this to be the same for the majority of our classmates. Videos have circulated of police clad in riot gear mocking and brutalizing our students. The events of last night left us and many of our peers unable to focus and highly emotional during this tumultuous time. This only follows the growing distress that many of us felt for months as the humanitarian crisis abroad continues to unfold, as the blatant anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and racism on campus has escalated. Our response is not disproportionate to the outsized impact it has had on many of us in the community, a crowd of people that proudly represents their membership in a white supremacist, neo-fascist hate group were storming our campus just days ago. Good Lord God.
Did they actually just say, give all of the students a passing grade because there's protests?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they said that.
What?
So Dana and I are very much aligned on this one. I would be embarrassed too.
Well, and furthermore, I mean, I know they still have to pass the board to actually become a lawyer, but is this really what we want? We want to just say, oh, they were traumatized by something, so let's give them a free pass? Is that somebody who you want to be your lawyer later in life? No.
Many of them were traumatized by something they chose.
Yeah.
Like, and furthermore, as a lawyer, you're probably going to be more traumatized by some of the stuff you're going to hear in a courtroom, depending on, well, I mean, not always. It depends on, like, what kind of law you're practicing, but still.
Yeah.
When we did the Bukele segment a week and a half ago, we described him as having what? Brass cojones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, if you're a lawyer, you have to have same brass cojones. You have to be able to handle things. And I'm I'm sorry, maybe it's my age at this point because I'm like elderly now. At least it feels that way some days. But I'm so sick and tired of hearing about everybody's emotions and feelings. They have a place, don't get me wrong. Your emotions and feelings can inform how you deal with the facts that surround you, but they shouldn't control everything that you do.
Yes.
And I'm so tired of it being used for an excuse as well. And what's really got me is that these are the people who are going to take over the world. They're the next generation that has to be in charge at some point. And if they can't handle themselves,
Yeah.
how are they ever going to handle something as important as like a law proceeding?
Yeah. Like,
To your point, son, are they going to crumble as soon as they're in front of a judge who's a little bit snippy with them, which is pretty commonplace?
yeah, and it's like imagine like these lawyers handling certain things, like somebody's like a healthcare lawsuit where it's like medical malpractice or something, or like a divorce proceeding, or like custody, or like any number of things that require a lawyer.
It just occurred to me I made a very unfair assumption there. I assumed that the judge was going to be prickly. But after a while, it's these people who are going to be the judges too.
That's true. Yeah.
So they're
point.
going to be going, well, how did the defendant feel when he went and did this?
Goodness.
Oh, he was bothered by it. Okay. Let's just give him probation.
Yeah.
That's what's coming next. I get why Dan is messed up and mad about this.
Yeah. I do
Because
too.
it reflects poorly on his profession.
Yeah.
Well, and his degree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know his entire financial background, but I know he's not poor. And my guess is he's probably made some contributions to that law school because of who he is.
Probably.
That would make me a little salty.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. It, yeah.
I know.
I don't get people anymore. I just
I know.
don't. I mean, they go out and they do these protests and they whine and complain about how horrible their lives are and everything else, and now we need to hold their hand and give them an excuse not to take their exams and everything else. Life sucks. It's hard. Deal with it. And you created the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Just go to class. What's going on? I'm sorry, but what's going on in Israel and Palestine and the Gaza and all that right now has nothing to do with us here in the moment. Handle your stuff first. Once your stuff is handled, if you want to then go out and make your voice heard, go for it.
Yeah.
But the first thing you need to do is handle your stuff. Do I have opinions on what's going on there? Sure I do. Most people do.
Yeah.
Am I going, oh, I can't fill this customer's order today because I'm upset about what's going on halfway around the planet?
Yeah.
No. I do my job. I do what needs to be done.
There's always something that's going on, unfortunately, but there's always something that's going on somewhere around the world that is
bad.
horrifying. And
There's
if
stuff
you-
going on right here that's more not more horrifying, but just horrifying in general.
yeah, but the problem is, like, life has to move forward. You have to move forward. You can't just sit in a corner and cry about it.
Yeah.
No, but that's what you're encouraged to do now
Yeah.
on these
no.
campuses with their safe spaces and their places to retreat and
No.
their
And it's just
counselors
and it's so just difficult too, because these are the humans that can try to convince other humans, the judges, to perform certain actions that affect other humans.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people you hire to speak for you, the people the state hires to speak for them.
Yep.
These are the middlemen that you hire that convince a human that can make a ruling decision that can change the outcome of somebody's actual life.
Yes.
These
Well-
are the people that can sway a difference between somebody being put on death row or somebody getting just like a slap on the wrist probation. These are the people that can make that sway difference.
yeah.
And this is
And
What?
give them all A's because there was a protest. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
God.
Well, hopefully it's as easy for all of us to just be able to create an excuse to get out of something we don't want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try that with our next set of customers that we get from one of our businesses.
Lord, no.
Just go, I can't fill your order because stuff, but I'm going to keep your money.
Yeah. Yeah, that would go over real well.
Lead balloon effect right there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So I'm on Dana's side on this one. But let's see what else is going on, because while we're at it, if we're already ticking off students at Columbia, let's just take it a step further, shall we?
Okay.
Columbia University cancels main graduation ceremony in the wake of protests. This is from Reuters. This was actually published a few days ago, but the graduation ceremony that's actually scheduled for May 15th, which is this coming Wednesday, has been canceled. And it's in the wake of the pro-Palestinian protests, but instead they're going to hold smaller school-based events. Holding a large commensurate ceremony on the campus presented security concerns that unfortunately proved insurmountable. Like our students, we're deeply disappointed with this outcome. Your students aren't disappointed. They created it. They should be happy. Chang said, Chang is the spokesman, Ben Chang, said the university has sought an alternative venue but was unable to find one that could accommodate students, families, and guests in attendance who normally exceed 50,000. The protests at Columbia, which drew national attention, have inspired similar protests. These we know. More stuff about Gaza that we already know. The turmoil on campuses has prompted colleges around the United States to relocate, modify, or cancel commencement ceremonies altogether. USC called off its main stage ceremony 1 week after canceling the valedictorian speech by a Muslim student who said she was silenced by anti-Palestinian hatred. Columbia said Monday it had consulted with student leaders deciding how to handle the graduation. The majority of the smaller ceremonies, which have been said to take place at the Upper Manhattan campus, where most of the protests had taken place, will take place at the main athletic complex about 5 miles away. Blah, blah, blah. So, just to summarize, no exams, all A's.
Nobody gets to walk.
Nobody gets to walk, but
yeah.
we'll have smaller gatherings at an athletic field a couple of miles away. What a freaking disaster.
That
Yeah.
doesn't
That
also
whole
that
thing
doesn't
turned
really help the security risk. Even if it's smaller events, you may as well just hold the larger event. I don't think that's gonna help. I don't think there's really gonna be much of a security difference. Maybe that's just my opinion. I don't know, but
There wouldn't be a security risk if they just handled this stuff in the first place. But you know the bigger issue why this is going down, and why they're not having these graduation ceremonies. It isn't the students, it isn't the faculty, it's the insurance companies.
ooh,
Because all of these events are insured.
that's true.
And all of them are going back to these people right now and saying, okay, if you're going to hold this event and you want us to insure it, here's what you're going to have to do. And they're listing off all of the security that they're going to want now based upon what's going on. And the university looks at it and go, we can't do that.
Yeah. They don't want to pay for it. Okay.
Or like the $2 million premium. Probably
Basically,
more than that.
yeah. I mean, they'd raise the premium on it for sure, but they'll also have security requirements. This is happening more and more in places where there's turmoil because all events of any significance have an insurance policy behind them. And, yeah, it just becomes untenable. You can't do it. But, again, all of this brought on by stuff that, quite honestly, has nothing to do with any of these students.
But now, based on their actions, they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, not only shot themselves in the foot, but quite honestly, probably shot future students in the foot as well, because the campuses around the country are going to have to look at all this stuff completely different now. You know, do they want to mess with large graduation ceremonies just to have to cancel them? Or do they make it more a virtual event or something like that where they don't have to deal with it if something goes down?
Yeah.
You know,
It's sad.
it is. But quite honestly, I'm seeing less and less of a value in a college education at this point anyways. Unless you're going for something highly specialized like law. But even that.
And one thing I kind of just realized in the back of my head too, if you do kind of want to make a difference with what's going on here, you could probably practice more international law regarding this stuff. Like you could use that law degree, practice like some international law kind of stuff going on. I don't really know how that works, but
then you don't get to break things, son.
I mean, but yeah, but that would still make a difference. You could still make a difference. Here's the thing. I think that what these people might not realize is that with the degrees they're trying to get, you could like handle like more international law, those more proceedings. The UN would love to hire some lawyers. You could totally go about that.
They probably don't want U.S. lawyers though.
That's fair. I'm just saying you can make a difference, but this isn't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You want to make a difference? International law. You have the degrees for it.
That's fair, but it's not the way people think, because especially at that age, there is a tendency to be reactionary to things. But what is missing right now is that arm that comes over you and says, no, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't get it from their parents. They don't get it from the faculty at these places. And all it takes is a few outside agitators to come in and get people riled up. And that's how this went down. It was outside people that came in and riled them up. And there was nobody to set them straight. And now, here they are.
Yeah.
In a messed up stew of their own making.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'd like to say that we're all done with this stuff for the year. We're not even close to being done.
No.
Maybe on campuses, at least for the summer. But no, this will move out to the city streets now, and stuff will go down because it's an election year, and we have to complain about stuff because it's an election year.
Yeah.
And we've got the whole thing in the Gaza going on, which we just talked about, and don't forget about Ukraine.
Yep.
Don't forget about Taiwan.
Yep.
But let's forget about our homeless.
Yes.
Let's forget about our drug addiction and mental health issues.
Yes.
Because what goes on here, who cares?
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. They'll figure it out.
Oh,
they
yeah.
always do.
Yeah, we'll be fine. It's everybody else that we have to look after. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and join us every Monday and Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific for our live show.